13 minutes. 3,445 words. Sweden is training Armenian judges to suck less so the public will trust them. After and between the representatives of the Armenian government and the Swedish court, a new program has launched financed by the government of Sweden. It's a cooperation between the Swedish National Courts Administration, SNCA, Armenia's Justice Academy, and Armenia's Supreme Judicial Council. The training program will consist of 2 phases, each lasting 2 years. It will increase the judges' knowledge about ethics and anti-corruption. Supreme Leader Gagik Jongarian: this is especially good for us because it will contribute to increasing the public confidence in the institute, strengthen the skills of judges specialized in anti-corruption and ethics, and improve the court's communication with the media. Sure, there are many problems and the courts are overloaded. But on the other hand, due to biased coverage and lack of knowledge, people often don't see the enormous work done by good judges. Justice Ministry. Today the government is taking steps to increase the number of judges, to reduce overload and improve quality, and increase their salaries. Swedish Ambassador. This is a joint Swedish-Armenian project to raise the level of trust and ethics in the judiciary. CSTO military bloc gathered in Yerevan. Armen Grigorian announced the opening of the session. The session was held in a closed format. Present were Russia's Nikolai Patrushev and security officials of other states. They discussed global and regional conflicts, anti-terror, etc. CSTO boss ZAS. Globally, agreements existing for decades have stopped operating, and the level of mistrust between several leading players is approaching a critical juncture. It's escalating. CSTO is taking all necessary measures to strengthen peace and stability in its member states. Nikolai Patrushev. Moscow supports Armenia in processes of ensuring regional security. Armen Grigorian. Nagorno-Karabakh conflict has not been resolved yet. It must be done within the OSCE-MG. Pashinyan to CSTO. The bloc has a chapter, and the CSTO Secretariat regularly collects information and conducts an analysis of the situation in CSTO countries to identify the preconditions for crisis situations. As you know, last year Azeri forces invaded our territory, and we applied to the CSTO. This issue should be discussed properly. We see that aggressive statements by Azerbaijan continue. We should discuss that issue, especially considering that Armenia has applied to the CSTO. This is a very fundamental issue for both us and CSTO. Don't use language like, the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan aren't demarcated and aren't clear. The international borders are known. And a CIS agreement was signed in 1991. This should be the starting point. The opposite interpretation of this situation will reduce the effectiveness of CSTO. Armenia invited UK Defence Ministry to organise Psychology of Leadership training course for Armenian army officials. For the first time, the week-long Arajnordutian Hajbanatun course was organised in MOD's National Defence Research University, attended by 23 officials from Armenian Army and MOD. The professor was the retired British Colonel Ronald McCourt from the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst. Certificates were presented by the UK ambassador, who commented that this important course was another excellent step forward to deepen the defence relationship between the UK and Armenia. Anti-corruption. Authorities arrest another ranking army official accused of obtaining wrong artillery shells that didn't reach the targets during 2020 war. NSS reports. We've arrested Maj. General Armen Harutyunyan, the former head of artillery and missile forces. A private company signed a weapon contract with Defense Ministry. Harutyunyan led the commission tasked with overseeing the process of accepting the weapons. Harutyunyan decided to help the owner of the company embezzle large funds from MOD by delivering weapons that did not meet the requirements, caliber and other tech characteristics. Instead of delivering the correct product, they delivered $1.1 million worth of Czech artillery shells that were significantly lower in quality and ended up not reaching the target, and were not fully compatible with the Armenian army's firing standards. Harutyunyan and the company owner are charged with crimes. Harutyunyan served in the position from 2017 to February 2022. He joins the former MOD Davit Tanoyan, former Kogs Artak Davtyan, Stepan Galstyan, and 4 other army officials who were earlier charged with embezzlement and obtaining wrong weapons. In other news, the government recently introduced army reforms to move the military procurement process in its entirety from the army to MOD, amid years-long complaints of corruption in the army. The design of the Life Park, dedicated to the fallen heroes of First and Second Artsakh Wars, has been completed last year. That a new 20-hectare park called Park of Life will be founded in Yerevan's botanical garden to honor those who died in First and Second Artsakh Wars. Area Harutyunyan. The architectural design is complete in 2 to 3 weeks. After receiving an expert opinion, a construction tender will be announced. The park will have a new irrigation system. The construction will last 3 years and cost $4.2 $9 million. Pashinyan. This should be a place where people can visit with their families to spend time. I spoke with the parents of fallen soldiers. The architecture and design should be such that people don't avoid taking their children there. It should celebrate life. Armenia, Georgia, and Azerbaijan could soon meet in Tbilisi. Armenia's foreign ministry announced that steps will be taken to ensure the effectiveness of any such meeting before it can take place. In response to Aliyev's complaint that Armenia was refusing to meet. Russia, Iran, and Turkey will soon meet in Tehran. Scheduled for late August, the main topic will be the conflict in Syria. Another meeting was held earlier this week. President Kachaturian is on a working trip to Russia. He met the Armenian diaspora in St. Petersburg while attending the Russian Davos. Kachaturian. Your problems are our problems. We'd like to understand your issues and concerns. This meeting is also an opportunity to present the current situation in Armenia. You receive different information from various sources. However, they need to be clarified because sometimes they have nothing to do with reality. Play button. No, corridor is being discussed under the context of lifting the communication blockade. We are not against allowing Azerbaijan to connect to Nikhiyevan. They can use our infrastructure according to international norms. Play button. At the moment, the Armenian side wants to clarify the principles around transportation, while Azerbaijan wants to know the coordinates of the roads. We insist that once we finish discussions around the principles, the rest will be easier. There are multiple options. Play button. During USSR, Azerbaijan was building a high-speed highway Baku-Megri-Nikhiyevan. That was Haydar Aliyev's dream. If I'm not mistaken, in 1987 they suspended it. There were disagreements and a conflict. It was the Gorbachev era. I believe they want to give it another try now. We are ready to discuss it, but even if it's possible to build it in theory, in practice it was impossible. It was a difficult task. Play button. But before that's even discussed, why not consider the already available road options? Before the 1990s conflict, while traveling from Syanik to Yerevan, we used to drive through Baikonur, Nikhiyevan, Yerisk, border, Yerevan. The Vayos Dozor road that we use today was rarely used. We were using the Nikhiyevan road. Now we're offering Azerbaijan to temporarily use this Baikonur road. In other words, it goes from Azerbaijan to Goris, then north of Sizhan. before reaching Bykivnik in Nikhiyevan. Sure, that mount is problematic in the winter. But once you cross it, it becomes convenient. It takes you all the way to Ordubad. Azerbaijan, Iran. Play button. Why did we choose Elon Musk's SpaceX and not Russia's Roscosmos to fly Armenia's first ever surveillance satellite? Simply because Roscosmos did not have the programs we needed. We negotiated with them. But after the agreements were not met on 3 occasions, we found a colleague from Spain. We will have a space agency. But first, we must train the experts. We are in touch with our compatriots in US and EU. Our satellite is quite capable. It may appear small, but the experts on the ground can do a lot with the right tools. #91 European organizations urge EU's Charles Michel to ensure the fundamental rights of Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh. Context. After the latest Brussels meeting, Charles Michel released a personal statement in which he tried to use language that would appease both sides. He used Karabakh instead of Nagorno-Karabakh, as lobbied by Azerbaijan. In response to Armenian complaints and Aliyev's braggadocio, a response with a more pro-Armenian language. The criticism continues despite Michel's attempt to address the complaints. EU-based Armenian group EAFJD has rallied 91 European organizations to Michel. It states, "We welcome Michel's efforts to peace negotiations. But it should be based on justice and not the sacrificing of fundamental rights and needs of the Armenian side. We regret that Michel ignored EU's documented stance and chose to adopt a pro-Azeri language by using Karabakh instead of Nagorno-Karabakh, which is a political entity with a defined territory. Azerbaijan's refusal to use Nagorno-Karabakh is part of the ongoing state policy of ethnic cleansings against the indigenous Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh. Nevertheless, we appreciate Michel's follow-up statement with clarifications and the emphasis on key principles. We hope that the EU's future mediation on the conflict does justice to negotiating an equitable and lasting peace." // 7 Azeri sappers blew up on a landmine in Jabrail. They were professional sappers who were dispatched to remove a landmine. One man lost his leg. Another 6 bystanders received various injuries. ## Digitization reforms. More healthcare documents will be handled electronically. Ministry official. *# One of the biggest complaints is the long line at clinics and the need to fill out paperwork at a doctor's office before they can start treating you. We have developed an electronic queue for this. It's already active in Yerevan clinics. You can register electronically and take care of documents before the visit. The document that proves you cannot work will also become electronic. You won't need to meet the department head or the director for their signature or stamp anymore. That form is automatically filled for you when you get sick and lasts until you are healed. You go home without dealing with paperwork. That document can be sent to your employer electronically, so you will receive your salary. The system will be ready in the coming months. // The ministry urged residents to actively use the newly revamped armed electronic system when it's ready. It will allow you to grant access to specific individuals to see your diagnosis, show your prior visits and test results, and make a payment. ## Nobel Prize laureate Patapotyan expresses readiness to support Armenia's fight against cancer. Healthcare Minister Avanesian after meeting Patapotyan. * We talked about the healthcare system and the reforms that have entered a new phase. Patapotyan was interested in the activities being carried out to overcome the pandemic and the consequences of the war, and made valuable observations on the field, highlighting the ongoing reforms in the sector, particularly the programs in fighting cancer. He expressed readiness to support our programs in fighting the disease, stating that the system is open now more than ever, and today he feels himself closer to the Armenian land, culture, and homeland. Armenia's state-run investment fund ANIF opens representation in Abu Dhabi. ANIF has opened a representation in Abu Dhabi, receiving a commercial certificate from Abu Dhabi Global Market. ANIF * as a result of our cooperation with UAE-based leading companies. 2 major investment programs are already being implemented. We are looking forward to embracing new opportunities for new large-scale programs and enhancing UAE-Armenia business ties even deeper. The 2 joint investment programs with UAE companies are the new national carrier Fly Arna and AYG1 solar farm. High-tech companies will receive tax breaks if they hire in GT 10 workers. The government approved the tax waiver program in March. Eine Revtrayan Kazmaker Kam Anhat Janarkatarer. Orank Nergraven 10 nor Asexitog Kastanan Pedikon Ajakatun nor Asexitognary Masav Vikarvak. Ekamtayan Harki 50 Tokosi Kapav. Nor Asexitogner Petke E 2022 to Vakani Mart Amsvan Naxerdak 6 Amsia Zamkidum Hyastani. Hanra Peditunum Asexitankyan Ev Ishatanari Katarman Kam Karayutianari Matukman. Kagakashieravakan Paymanagrarov Asexitogner Handisakak Klinin. Government allocates more funds to finance infrastructure projects in provinces. 18 settlements are building parks, playgrounds, kindergartens, gas pipes, etc. They need co-financing from the federal budget. There are also plans to renovate more highways. $10 million were allocated today. Pashinyan. * Don't forget to check the road quality. Do not tolerate any bad work. Draft a new system to deal with companies that repeatedly build low-quality roads. Sure, we already force them to fix the errors. But it's a waste of time for us. Finance Minister. * We have a blacklist for them. There will also be a list of companies that have a record of doing a proper job. Pashinyan about his 2 provinces. They've done a great job with infrastructure programs. Hundreds of new light poles were installed on the streets of Hyanist. The town hall was renovated. The backyard and park were revamped. A drinking water network was built for hundreds of more families in Lenugi. Armavir. A road in Lukash is now made of Armenian. It connects to the kindergarten, post office, and town hall. What we saw in Ararat province was gratifying. But we need to focus on more village roads that use stone. I've received complaints about their quality. But this is how we get rid of muddy roads in villages. // Government allocates another 338 meters to help Armenian athletes and AMP coaches. Assistance to become institutional. Armenian athletes are preparing for the European, World, and Paris 2024 Olympics Games. They need resources. They also need to be paid proper wages. The ministry will issue grants to athletes who finish in 4 to 8 positions during prestigious international tournaments. Coaches and team doctors will receive additional benefits. Pashinyan. * Sadly, the system of support for athletes and coaches has not been institutional. The decisions have long been fragmented and discretionary. We have decided to make the system institutional and more predictable. Active Olympics athletes will receive a monthly $500K, $1,100 for second place, and $400K for third. Hoskin Is Pahin Titkosakir Marzanari Masin E. Olympics qualification tournament winners will receive $300K. World winners $500K. Second place $400K. Third $300K. Fourth place in World or Olympics will earn $150K. Lists other payments, including for junior athletes. New sports center will be built in Yerevan's Shengavit district named after world boxing champion Arthur Abraham. Born Avatik Abrahamyan. the Armenian-German boxer in a Yerevan suburb Nurkin Charbak, his birthplace. Now he will have a sports complex named after him. Pashinyan. Asterisk a new sports complex will be built in Charbak, named after Arthur Abraham. Similar facilities are being built in the birthplaces of wrestler Arthur Alexanian and weightlifter Simon Martirosyan. It's great to have a new sports center. But it's even better and more inspiring for children when it's named after our champions. This is an appreciation of their achievement. We will honor our athletes. / Street named after Soviet Armenian artist Sergei Parajanov opens in Tbilisi, Georgia. In Emtatsminda, near the hills on the outskirt of Tbilisi. The road was formerly named Kot Meski. Officials and Parajanov's relatives were present during the opening ceremony. MP Zarab Abashidze, Karawar-e, Orpazi Urakansior Tbilisi, Mir Eritasordutian, Apaga Sarand Hissi Hankarg Nakarsan, or Mekasel-e Mir Myrakagakam, Amen Ban Karvi, Orpazi Havarzikvi Parajanovi Anan, / airport taxi services will be regulated. The government gave a green light to a resolution that aims to regulate the taxi services in the airport. Executive. There are currently no separate legislative regulations for this. That's why it's so messy. And some drivers have unacceptable conduct towards passengers and each other. The order is received orally, leading to inconveniences for passengers and tourists later. The vehicles are often old. There are also parking issues. The proposed reforms will introduce taxi rules. The vehicles cannot be too old and must look decent. Avtomobili Verilakayan Hamakargi Verisarkaverman Arjelk. New rules for accepting orders and conducting business in airport territory. Taxi vehicles will have the same appearance. The goal is to have a civilized service. / Government wants to eliminate some honorary artist titles and preserve two main categories. Amid complaints about stars buying with or being bought with titles. Education Minister. There are too many titles that aren't properly defined when they should be issued. We introduced a bill to eliminate the titles Zogoverdikan Artisti, Zogoverdikan Nakarchi, Vastakavor Artisti, Vastakavor Nakarchi. The following will be preserved. Arvasti Vastakavor Gorshi, Misakuti Vastakavor Gorshi, Honorary Art Figure and Honorary Culture Figure. Deputy Minister. It won't apply to artists who have already received the title. Today artist Armin Elbakian noted that these titles had the purpose of keeping people under the influence of the government. By eliminating the Snitch Sat awards, we are making artists more independent while increasing the prestige of the tile. It gets ridiculous on every national holiday during discussions on who should get a title. There have been disgraceful deals over these titles in the past. You won't imagine who gave what in. Took what in return. / The number of students in classrooms will be capped to raise the quality of education. Education Ministry. Amid the ongoing efforts to hire more teachers and build new schools, we have drafted another amendment to limit the number of students in elementary and middle classes to 25, and in higher classes to 20. They can take arts and gym classes with other students, but each class will have its separate STEM course. / Debt collectors won't be able to take the family's income that came from demographics-related aid. The state gives cash to families who have 3 or more children. The government wants to amend this law to ensure this money cannot be frozen or confiscated. If approved, the law will have a retroactive effect. / This is how much money individuals transferred to Armenia from January to April. January, $40 million. $17 million from Russia. February, $56 million. $46 million from Russia. March, $90 million. $51 million from Russia. April, $207 million. $191 million from Russia. Tripled compared to last year. Video. Harassing some Russian tourists who came to relax in 7. What they said. Taxi cheap. Food good. People kind. Many stray dogs. Global Peace Index 2022. An index measuring the peacefulness of countries with the use of various indicators, such as perceived criminality in society, police, political stability, etc. Iceland first. Armenia 83. Was 86. Georgia 95. Was 86. Azerbaijan 128. Was 120. Iran 141. Turkey 145. Was 150. It's measured on a scale of 1 to 5, with lower being better. Here is Armenia and Azerbaijan. Perceived criminality in society. 1.5. 2.5. Security officers and AMP. Police. 2.5. 1.7. Homicides. 1.9. 2.1. Jailed population. 1.6. 2.3. Access to weapons. 3. 4. Organized conflict. Internal. 2. 2. Violence demonstrations. 1.5. 1.75. Violent crime. 2. 2. Political instability. 3. Political terror. 3. 3.4. India will organize a yoga event in Yerevan's Hakhtanak Park on Tuesday. Indian Embassy and Armenia's Education Ministry would like you to stretch your muscles near Mother Armenia Military Museum during the June 21 International Day of Yoga. Top 10 bestseller translated books in May. 5. Otel. Agatel. Cyril. By Elizabeth Gilbert. 4. Bari Gorcheri Kagak. By Mark Aaron. 3. The Big Four. By Agatha Christie. 2. Death on the Nile. By Agatha Christie. 1. Tears in Paradise. By Hamid Amirov. Yasser Arafat is building tiny nuclear reactors. Arafat is the technical lead of the micro-reactor project at one of the U.S. government's nuclear research labs. The goal is to build a tiny, relatively inexpensive reactor. Arafat. Beyond being a potential clean energy option for remote locations or small communities. The Marvel micro-reactor could become a key component of a clean energy grid that includes renewable solar and wind energy and battery storage. The entire hardware can be built in a factory, like the way we make automobiles or cars, allowing for the production of hundreds of micro-reactors a year. In case you missed yesterday's news in by Impossible Ad. Archive by Donate to Armenia and AMP. Artsakh. The accused are innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. Even if they appear guilty,